Larry Ellison is likely to take over TikTok. And there is a TikToker, I hope it's still up, that I want to play for you because this has some implications. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the TikTok first, and then we're going to talk about what this actually means and what we probably should do as soon as I get that on the screen, because this is more serious. And I'm surprised that nobody talks about, it's amazing with the mainstream media, right? There are two black guys that they found hung in trees in Mississippi. Has any one of you heard that on mainstream media at all? Has anybody? I'm curious. Finding two black guys hung within 2 days in Mississippi on a tree, and it doesn't make any news at all. Somebody sent it here to me, and the question is, why isn't it news? But the other thing that should make big news is that Larry Ellison is about to take over this TikTok. We'll know for sure on Friday. So what I want to do is I want to play this piece by a well-known TikToker, and after I want to discuss a little bit about it. So let's go ahead and play that, and then we'll take it on the other side. Let me make sure I get the video up in time. I'm always late on that.
TikTok could have a new owner by Friday. Here's everything I know about the potential deal. This is the Ellison family. They are headed by the patriarch, Larry Ellison, who owns a company called Oracle. He is one of the richest people on the planet, and for the last several years, thanks to this thing called Project Texas, all of the U.S. user-based data has been housed on Oracle servers. This is his son, David Ellison. Now, you probably heard David's name because he owns a company called Skydance Media, and they just bought Paramount Media. You may be less familiar with his daughter, Megan Ellison. She is an out lesbian who loves riding motorcycles and investing in female-led projects. She is also a prolific video game investor and has invested in Broadway shows. Currently, David Ellison owns all of these brands, okay? Everything from CBS News to Nickelodeon to the Smithsonian Channel. If his dad was given the right to purchase TikTok, then the Ellison family would own a significant amount of the programming from entertainment to news that you see. In addition, David Ellison is allegedly in talks to try and buy Warner Brothers Discovery. If that merger were allowed to go through, then David Ellison would also control all of these channels. See, this is sounding like a monopoly. Well, it's not, because these are all separate people with separate companies. Although, yes, I see the concern of one family owning pretty much all of the entertainment that we have access to in this country. Something else to know about this family is that David and Larry are open, unapologetic conservatives and supporters of Donald Trump. And of course, Megan, being an out lesbian who invests in female-led projects, leans a little bit more to the left. Trump has a meeting with the president of China to discuss this alleged TikTok deal on Friday. So we're not going to know before then exactly how this is all going to go down. But it has always been my suspicion if any American company was to get any sort of piece of TikTok, it would be the Ellison family, because they already controlled all the data storage for the U.S. TikTok users. The Ellison family is also the most likely to keep the current staff of TikTok employed and not replace them with loyalists or people from their own company. But of course, we have no way of guessing that. When David Ellison first took control of CBS News, one of the first things he was rumored to do was create a pathway for Bari Weiss to join in an executive leadership role. Yes, she did date Kate McKinnon when they were students at Columbia, but there's a lot more to Bari Weiss than that, and I did a whole Substack on it if you want to check it out. I also want to point out, every single time an American company has claimed they were going to buy TikTok, that deal has fallen through, and Donald Trump has just signed an extension to keep TikTok from being banned. We should know more on Friday, but that's everything I've got for you now. If the Ellisons do take over, will you continue to TikTok?
Now, let me just tell you my opinion on this. I think this deal is likely to go through because the person purchasing it would be the right person. But I want to show you guys one thing. As we know right now, Mark Zuckerberg is eaten out of the hands of Donald Trump. He's now Donald Trump's you-know-what. He controls Facebook, Threads, WhatsApp, Instagram, and I may be missing one. That's a big part of our social media ecosystem. We also have Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, of course, control what used to be the progressive paper called the Washington post. Of course, we know about all the firings. Atia got fired because she happened to say something about Charlie Kirk. We also remember that while the editorial board wanted to endorse Kamala Harris, that Bezos said, nope, you can't endorse. He's also eaten out of the funnels of Donald Trump. We saw Bill Gates, who is the lovable billionaire, sitting down right next to Melania, next to Trump at the table, praising Trump. We now have Larry Ellison with the possibility of controlling all of TikTok, which TikTok is in fact the best social media expansive source. In fact, I love TikTok. The way the TikTok algorithms works right now, I get a lot of news, stuff that I didn't hear of, not even in the Post or Times, that starts out at some local story on TikTok that then blows up. And because of what the stuff that I like to follow, those good type of things show up in my feed. What do you think is going to happen around election time? I want you guys to really think about this. These are not democratic social media platforms. They're sometimes democratic in that they'll give you the kinds of things you want to see. They'll give you the kind of things you want to see. But what happens when Donald Trump is near election time and things are tough, etc.? What do you think happens to the algorithm for all these properties that the billionaires are in hock to Trump on? What do you think is going to happen? It's going to change the algorithm. The AI is going to get involved, and it's going to start doing a whole lot of stuff. So what I've been trying to tell the audience right now, and I've spoken this, I think I said this at KPFT, I don't think I said it here, is that like the old muckrakers didn't have the internet. The old muckrakers didn't have any of these things, but they were still successful in the movement. And to do that, we are going to have to follow the same type of methodology. And that methodology is old school. Yes, flesh and blood, but we're a diverse country all around that's wide. If you take a look at the people that are watching right now, they're from all over, from every corner of the country. How do we stay in touch? This is what I am telling folks. Find your 10, 20, 30 best newsletters, whether they be on Substack, whether they be on Medium, whether they're anywhere, and subscribe to them. And I'm not saying that you need to be a paid subscriber, but subscribe to them so that they can reach you, so that you can reach them. And make sure that your email is that people who give you reliable information, that they have your email. Blue Sky is good, Cynthia, but I'm even concerned about Blue Sky's viability because it has stalled in its growth. So I'm very concerned about Blue Sky. I'm still on Blue Sky, still merged to Blue Sky. I am automated to Blue Sky as well, but I'm concerned about Blue Sky. So make sure that you are, in fact, if you're just coming in here or if you're listening to this on our podcast, and that's where we get most of our audience anyway, that's where we get the mass on podcast. But go ahead if you are listening and subscribe. Let us have you. We can't wait till the takeover occurs before we start building, because if we wait till the takeover occurs, there's no way to build because we can't use their infrastructure to build our infrastructure. Again, if we wait until the takeover occurs, I wonder if it's going to happen. If you wait, by then it's too late because it's that much harder to build the infrastructure. So I am asking all of you right now to not only subscribe to my newsletter, subscribe to other good ones, Marlon Weems and Mr. Why can't I never remember? I'm going to pull up mine in a minute, but I subscribe to some good newsletters. And please, again, you don't have to. I know a lot of you are going to say, well, look, what's going to happen to my inbox? Create a rule and have all your stuff, after a certain period of time. If you don't want to read it, let it go to a save box or something like that. You don't have to read them all. Just make sure that when you need to read them all, they will be there for you to search, because we're going to have to go back to old school. I hate to say it. We have to go back to good old emails, because right now, the way things are turning, it's going to be a very difficult situation. When I saw that it was Ellison, I kind of had a hunch it would be one of these billionaires that's his friend. Of course, he's in power. But this is very, very serious, guys. It is more serious than you think. Because while all of you that are here, Heather Cox Richardson, great person to subscribe to as well. Jay Cool, yes. While you are, and this is important, all of you the interesting thing of all of you that are listening to me right now, you all are savvy. You all know how to search for information and so forth. But most people are just going to see what they see on TikTok. And if you don't tell them specifically, hey, guys, you need to use other sources going forward, a lot of them wouldn't know. So we are dependent on all of what you guys are going to bring to the fold, guys. This is so very important. And the left hook with Wajad is a good one as well. There is, I'm looking for the Tom Hartman Show, another newsletter that you want to subscribe to. And then we have, where are my subscriptions? Bear with me as I go ahead and pull them down. But we really want to make sure that you are informed. There are good ones out here. I'm gonna stay away from the guy Lone Star Left, another good one. I'm going to stay away from the ones that came from mainstream media because, they're well taken care of. A lot of times they bring exactly what they brought to the old school MSNBC and whatever. So I'm going to stay with these independents that are doing some very good work. So, I probably should prepare a list for you all to pick and choose from. But please, please, please go ahead. And if you're not subscribed to my channel right now, Egberto Off the Record, please subscribe to Egberto Off the Record now. All of our country's problems, from polarization to ignorance on domestic and international issues to a complete misunderstanding of our economic and healthcare systems, are a direct result of a derelict mainstream media that too often bend over backwards to support corporate or bought politicians' wants as opposed to the people's needs for real information to make their lives better. Independent media is the only solution to inform truthfully and factually. Why? Because our loyalties are to you, the ones who fund us with small dollar contributions and subscriptions. Please consider supporting our independent media platforms by subscribing to our Egberto Off the Record newsletter at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Again, that is politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. It's an investment that pays incalculable dividends.